This is a different sort of video than I usually do. It's not really centered around self-improvement per se, but it is a topic that I'm genuinely interested in, and I think there's benefit into having the discussion. Now, we live in really turbulent times at the moment, and during these hard times, most people need a strong pillar, a strong foundation to hold on to. And actually, we've gone through so many different arcs and phases, especially in the Western world in the 21st century, through the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter, many major catastrophic events. We've got the financial crash, 9/11, COVID. But actually, it feels like we're at a melting pot of society now, where we've got really extreme opposites fighting with each other. And it seems like at any point now, the kettle will explode and the world is readying for war. Technology is advancing at rapid rates with the introduction of artificial intelligence, and we can only imagine how much further this will go once robotics truly gets involved. They're already talking about humanoid robots, and drones are being shown in the wars fought in both Russia and Ukraine, and the genocide that's happening in place in Palestine at the moment. Scary stuff, and it makes you wonder, what do people cling on to in these dark times, in these harsh conditions? I found not myself only, but the rest of the world, it seems like it's seeking out a godly presence, because we understand that there are true evil and dark powers at play here. We are witnessing in real time mass child sacrifice. In many places, the world seems to have gone to depths that we previously haven't seen before. Gone are the times of peace. Gone are the times of Cold War. It feels like we are truly in the pre-season to something historic. Ray Dalio talks about the life cycle of an empire, how it spans from 60 to 80 years, but much like a human life, there is variation to that expectancy. But if we study the great empires that ruled before and compare it to present day, it strikes an eerie comparison. Many would say it's the foreshadowing of the fall of the West as we know it. America and the uni-power it had seems like it's losing its grip on the world. What does it mean for me and you? What does it mean for the guy who lives in the West? Especially for the guy who lives in Britain. All we hear now is, you need to leave the UK. It's fight or flight. And so you must ask yourself, will you fight to create and build a great life here, or will you fly? Will you leave and try somewhere else? Now, there's no right or wrong answer, but one must first be aware of what's going on, boys. You can't get so lost in your own little bubble, in your own world, that you forget to look up and assess the world. Because on the global scale, things are changing, and it's happening really rapidly. So you must ask yourself, what are you doing in preparation? Because hard times will follow. It's only going to get more tough. You've got people talking about the Antichrist, and these aren't just any sort of people. This is Peter Thiel, a billionaire who has immense resource under him. He gets to see the amount of data is insane, right? Leading oracle. And if these guys who have access to the world's data and money are starting to talk about the Antichrist and spirituality with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones's recent podcast, there's a natural inclination in the average human to understand that there are some really dark and evil stuff going on, and we must reclaim our faith and find God, because we're living in a godless society. But like I said, the movements are dead. We can see past the LGBTQ and the COVID. We understand that the only structure we ask and need is a structure that involves God, the nuclear family, and a good life, away from evil, away from promiscuity, away from overindulgence, away from all forms of harm. Peace and prosperity is what the average person wants, and is what the average person deserves. The truth is, the average person isn't in control of his life. The higher ups, the elite, the upper echelon of society, they are the ones who control. And so are you ready to take back control? Because there's only one way, brother. You need to work and build yourself into a position of power and influence so that you can control the decisions made for your family. And that's a cold, hard line. Earlier I mentioned fight or flight. To me, I'm fighting. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to make sure that when that time comes, and if there's a time of war, regardless of the situation and the context, myself and my family will be ready. And you don't need to get all Call of Duty on them and think about, I don't know how to shoot a gun. In war, there's many opportunities. And understand that most people are cannon fodder. You won't be some superhero, brother, so get that out your head. Start thinking about how the currency will collapse, how there'll be a new world order. Again, going back to Ray Dalio, talking about how the reserve currency changes, how different laws are implemented. This is all the natural life cycle of an empire, and it seems like the Western America is coming to a natural decline. The junior partner in Britain is already at one of the lowest it's been in terms of quality of life in average society, in terms of the happiness index amongst the average population. It's never been darker, and it probably won't get better. So what are you doing to prepare? This video isn't to fearmonger, but really it's to inspire you and motivate you to understand that there is a long game being played here. And so just because your results aren't showing today, it's fine, so long as you're making the right decisions. Because understand, it's only going to get tougher, and this is a long game. That's how the higher ups play it. They're playing in decades. And so this might be the pre-season to war, but understand something's coming. And when that time comes, you better be ready. That's it from me, boys. In terms of the community, we can talk about this all day long. Feel free to hit me up about geopolitics, anything esoteric, occultism. If you guys enjoy these sort of topics, comment, let me know. I'm more than happy to go into it. But like I said, anything self-improvement. If you want a group chat, a community of brothers who push you every single day to do better, then hit the first link in the bio. Other than that, boys, take it easy.